Okay, so box and whisker plots. So remember it's talking about these 5 different vocab words from yesterday. The only thing we didn't talk about, the lower quartile, the median of the lower half of data. The upper quartile is the median of the upper half of data. So we're going to break it down, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, this is a box and whisker plot example right here. So if you look at the board, you see that this half of data shows 25% of the data. This is 25%. This is 25%, and this is 25%. So altogether, that makes 100% of your data is graphed in this thing. So they're saying 25% of your numbers fall in this section right here. 25% of your numbers fall in here. 25% of your numbers fall in here, and 25% of your numbers fall in there. Okay? So we're going to make a box and whisker plot for the given data. So I want you to look right here. The very first thing we need to do is put it in order. Okay? So you take your numbers. So we're going to start with 60 as our first number. Is that our smallest? 60. Then 62. 64. 65. There's 2 65s. Then 66. 67, 2 68s, and 69. Y'all good with that? Yes. Okay, so that's our data. Yes?
There's 266.
There's 2 66s?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so I can erase real quick, but if y'all can't, we just kind of need to make sure we... And there's how many 67s? What did I erase just then?
So there's 266 and 167.
How many 65s are there? 2. 66, 66. Okay, there we go. Okay, so first things first. I don't see any outliers. Do you see any outliers? No. Okay, so we're going to find our median first. Does that make sense? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 numbers. It is odd. That means it's a specific number. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is our median. Okay, that's our middle of our data. Okay, so once we find the median, then we find the median of the lower half of data. So it kind of broke it into 2 halves. Y'all see? From this half over and then from this half over. So we find the median of the lower half of data. So the median here would be 1, 2, and it would be 64.
Wait, what do you...
I found the median of the lower half of data. Okay, so now I'm going to find the median of the upper half of data. So it should be 60 what? 8. Okay, so now I have 3 numbers. But technically, I have all the 5 points that we need. We need the minimum number. What's the minimum number? 60. So we're going to put a dot on 60. We're going to put a dot on the lower quartile. This is considered the lower quartile right there. Okay, that's that thing that we talked about up top. The lower quartile is the median of the lower half of data. We're going to put a dot on that. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then we're going to put a dot on our median. Okay, so we put a dot on the median, which is 66. And then we put a dot on the upper quartile, which is 68. And then we put a dot on the maximum value, which is 69. So I should have a total of 5 dots. The minimum, the lower quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and the maximum. You put a dot on every one. Once you have done that, you put a line through the 3 inside dots. You put a line through the lower quartile, the median, and the upper quartile. So we're going to put a line, line, line. Okay, once we put those 3 lines, we connect them like this. And then we extend from this dot out here in a straight line, this dot out here in a straight line. So now we've made our box and our whiskers, and that our data all falls between 60 and 69. Do you understand kind of how that's breaking it down? So we're saying 25% of the data falls right here, 25% of the data falls in here, 25, and 25. So from dot to dot, that's 25% of the data. Okay? Are we pretty good? Okay, so now let's look at number 2. From this box and whisker plot, it says, what is the median? Well, this is the minimum, right? This was the lower quartile. This was the median. This was the upper quartile, and this is the maximum. So what is the median? It's 82. So from that data, you should be able to pull information. Okay, number 3. What is the range? Can I find that from the data? Yes. What's my maximum? 16. What's my minimum? 5. 16 minus 5 is 11. So 11 is my range. How do you feel about that so far?
Wait, how'd you find that again?
I found my maximum value, and I subtracted my minimum value, just like we did yesterday in our notes from range there. Okay, what is the inner quartile range? Okay, so I don't know that that's up there, but we're gonna talk about the inner quartile range. So they a lot of times abbreviate it like that, IQR. Okay, the inner quartile range is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So which one's the upper? This one's the upper quartile, which is what? 85. Minus the lower quartile, which is 65. So the inner quartile range would be 20. Inner quartile range is your upper quartile minus your lower quartile. How do y'all feel about that so far?
Pretty good.
Okay. What percentage of data is between 70 and 100? Okay, so how much did I say was between each set of dots? 25. So this is 25, 25, 25. So how much total?
75?
That's 75% of the data falls between 70 and 100. That's how they would say it. They would say 75% of the data falls between 70 and 100. Are you good with that? Okay, not too bad, right? Okay, let's look on the back. Says make a box and whisker plot for the data. So we're going to very first thing, you always write it from least to greatest, just like we're doing yesterday. So I'm going to start with 51.
No, 48.
Oh, 48. I missed it. Okay, 48, 51, 52, 57, 64, 72, 73, and 86.
Hey, you messed me up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This loud now.
Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 numbers. Make sure you count them to make sure you've got it consistency. Okay, so when you have an even amount of numbers, when you're looking for the median, that's what we're going to do first. We're going to look for the median. It's even. It falls between. Okay? So we're going to fall between the 4th and 5th number right there. So I know what it is, but it's kind of hard between 57 and 64. So I would add them and then divide by 2. So 121 divided by 2 is going to give you your 60.5. So your median is going to be 60.5. Okay. So my minimum value is 48. So I'm going to put a dot there. Y'all good with that so far? Now, the median of my first half of data is going to be right here between 51 and 52. So what's that going to be? 51.5. So I'm going to put a dot on 51.5 right there. Then I have a dot on 60.5. Now, what's my median of my second half of data? It's going to be between 72 and 73. So what's that going to be? 72.5. So I'm going to put a dot on 72.5. And then I'm going to put a dot on 86. Does everybody see where I got the 5 dots from? Minimum, median of your first half of data, median of your second half of data, and then your maximum, okay? So I want you to write over here to the side, 5 dots. Minimum, lower quartile, median, upper quartile, and maximum. Those are your 5 dots, okay? So we're going to place your numbers. Once you've done that, then you can draw the boxes for the inner 3. I'll let y'all catch up for just a minute. So I'm going to draw a box. 3 lines. Remember, 3 lines through. Connect the bottom, connect the top, and then do our whiskers out to the sides. So that's where it gets its name, Box and Whisker Plot. Okay. So look at the second set. It says, what is the median? Okay, this is our what value right here? Minimum. This is our what right here? Lower quartile. This is our median. This is our upper quartile. This is our maximum. So what is our median? 3. Okay. What is the range? It's your biggest.
Minus your smallest.
8 minus, which is 7. What is the IQR? Upper quartile minus your lower quartile. Okay. So what's your upper quartile?
5.
What's your lower quartile?
2.
So the IQR is 3. What percentage of data is between 1 and 5? 25, 50, 75. 75%. Okay, so we found all our things. If you have a question about something, that's why you have notes. Go back and look, see what we were talking about. If it says IQR and you don't remember, come back and you should say, oh, IQR, we did upper quartile minus lower quartile. Okay, if you have questions, this is the time. We have about 7 minutes. It's not quite a lot of time, but I don't think it's too bad what you're doing. Okay, if you have questions, just raise your hand.